Hey everybody, Density Restorative Sensei. We're on Egan's chapter 11. We're talking about ventilation, and specifically we're talking today about how to calculate static pulmonary compliance. In the previous video, we talked about calculating dynamic pulmonary compliance. Dynamic is the amount of pressure that it takes to put the tidal volume inside the patient, and static is the amount of pressure that it takes to hold it inside the patient, to hold that volume. As you might imagine, it takes a lot less pressure to hold the volume inside the lungs than it does to push it in the first place. And so because of that, in the dynamic compliance, we looked at the number of milliliters of the tidal volume divided by the peak pressure minus the PEEP. Peak because that's what it takes to push the air inside the lungs. But this time we're not going to look at peak pressures, but rather plateau pressures. So that's a setting that we can get on the ventilator. The ventilator can tell us that. Sometimes we have to dial in a plateau, which is really just an inspiratory hold. And so we give the patient a deep breath on the ventilator, and then we let it relax and just hold there. We don't let it out, and then we check the pressure there. So the static compliance calculation is very simple. It's the number of milliliters of tidal volume that you're putting in divided by the plateau pressure. But remember, we have to subtract the PEEP, which is the baseline pressure. And that's it. That's the calculation. You need to know that for the MB/C exam. You should practice that a few times. Keep in mind that if the plateau pressures are going up and up and up, it means that the lungs are becoming more and more stiff and that the lungs are becoming non-compliant. So if you really want to look at the compliance of the lung tissue, then you look at static compliance. All right, I'll see you next time.